Welcome to the Sarah Finkelstein Show, where we like and enjoy sharing information, hopefully valuable information to you to help you and your family create a better life and a better financial life and financial future. You can find us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, YouTube, Alignable, LinkedIn, and much, much more. So please check out our wisdom tips, money wisdom tips, and our segments are typically 10 minutes long. So today's question is, how do you deal with losses? And of course, there are different losses, aren't there? The loss of a job or a promotion, the loss of money, the loss you encounter when something is stolen from you, and worst of all, the loss of a loved one. I recently came across an article in the New York Times that was titled, "How Long Should It Take to Grieve?" Psychiatry has come up with an answer. There is a new diagnosis in the field of mental health called prolonged grief disorder. This has been added to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which means that providers can now bill insurance companies for the treatment of this diagnosis. Since the 1990s, a number of researchers have argued that intense forms of grief should be classified as a mental illness so that people can get treatment rather than the belief that the suffering of the bereaved is a natural thing, which in turn fails to get them the help that they might need. These are the widows who wear black for the rest of their life, withdrawing from society and living the rest of their life in the memory of the spouse that they lost. These are the parents who lost a child and never got over the loss. Associate Professor of Social Work at Arizona State University, Joanne Cacciatore, disagrees that grief is a mental illness. She runs Sella Care Farm, a retreat for bereaved people. Here's a few examples of individuals who suffered from grief. Amy Kuzola Kern, 54 years old, lost her brother when he passed away suddenly in his sleep from a heart attack. She was compulsively replaying in her head the days and hours leading up to his death, wondering if she should have noticed something was wrong and urged him to get medical care. There's always the thought of, well, what if I had done this? Or what if I had done that? How would things be different? She had trouble sleeping and withdrew from social life. She had seen two therapists, took antidepressants, and nothing seemed to help her. She entered a program at Columbia University with Dr. Catherine Shears, a program called Prolonged Grief Disorder Therapy, during which time she recounted the day that she found out that her brother died. By the end of the 16-week program, she finally came to accept the fact that her brother had passed away. Another individual, a dad who lost his 3-year-old daughter in a car accident, said that grieving people could be set back by the idea that their response is dysfunctional. So, how long is the right amount of time for grieving? Great question. And I bet it's safe to say that every situation is different. I'm no therapist, but I could speak for myself and my own experiences, having lost my mother a number of years ago, then a few years later, having lost my father and other family relatives, just to mention a few. It is never easy. I can only imagine how difficult it was for my husband's grandmother, who is now 99 years old, when she lost her daughter, my mother in law, 2.5 years ago to ovarian cancer. A parent never imagines outliving their child, nor do they ever want to. But some things are not in our control. So sadly, this has happened to some people. And what could I offer the individual who is grieving? Well, I know that locally there are programs for people that are going through grief. There are support groups that one can join. And that is a very good starting point because you could also intermingle with other people that have had the same experience. So you can commiserate together. Or you can seek individual therapy to get over the tough period. When I went to the cemetery to do the planning for my mother-in-law who passed away, the last few weeks of her life, I was the one who went to the cemetery to make the arrangements of her imminent passing. And while I was there, I came across a great book, which is called What to Do When a Loved One Dies. This book is over 300 pages, and I skimmed through it. It's really great information. I'm trying to get this straight here. It's great information. This was written by Dr. Eva Shaw. So there are places where you can go and seek some sources that can benefit you. Also, I do have a booklet, The 9 Things That Every Senior Needs to Know About Funerals, which is also on the other side, My Final Wishes. This is a topic, your final wishes, is something that most people do not talk about with their loved ones. And it is important for your loved ones to know what your final wishes are. So we all know that one day we will not be here. What do you want to happen? What do you want those final wishes to be? This is a great little booklet with pages for you to fill in that you can share with your loved ones. So if you would like this booklet, I would be happy to mail it out to you. All you have to do is text the word final, FINAL, to my cell phone, which is 561-302-5760. Again, this booklet, I'll be happy to snail mail to you. Just text the word final to 561-302-5760. And also, please tune in next week on April 21st at 10:30 a.m. I am going to have a mortgage specialist as a guest who will be talking about today's mortgage environment. So I hope you can join us. Mark your calendar, Thursday, April 21, 10:30 a.m. Thank you for joining the Sarah Finkelstein Show, and we will see you the next segment.